Welcome to The Money Hour with host Tina Mitchell and co-host Keelan Harvey. Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420, and Keelan Harvey, MLO 1330075, are licensed loan originators with Gateway Mortgage Group, LLC, and MLS 7233. The views expressed by the speakers on the following program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of Gateway Mortgage Group, LLC, nor are they necessarily endorsed by Gateway Mortgage Group, LLC. Now, in the studio, local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome to the Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW at the Saturday, August 10th show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
We are your local mortgage experts, bringing in expert advice and inside knowledge on today's events in our local economy and how they will fetch your money. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but we're here to answer any questions or connect you with the guests that we have on the show. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. And the lineup for today's show, we have Tiffany Gough of Edward Jones. Thinking about leaving your job? Be careful what you leave behind. Also in studio, we have Karen Ray of Fave Lifestyles, navigating this thing called life, women inspired. Our last guest in studio, we have John Betford of Staging and Design Network, first ever shared rental pool for home furnishings. Great information and great guest in studio. For more information on any topic discussed or to connect with our guest, you can call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. And today, let's start out like we do each week with a little money chat.
Money.
Keelan, I'm always excited to see, are you going to talk a little bit about personal, or are you going to talk a little bit about professional? Are you going to get us to laugh or cry? What do you got?
I'm thinking laugh and I cried, personal.
I cried. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
I cried.
I mean, so a little dad test I had this week, and Tina.
Love you, London.
Yeah, bless her heart. I have a 3-year-old, London. I love her. She's spirited.
Beautiful terror.
Beautiful terror. She's like a Sour Patch Kid, you know, like stab you in the eye, literally, and then just tell you that she loves you and blow you kisses, and then you're like, oh. So that actually happened this week. Mm-hmm. We were at a restaurant, and I was sitting next to her. We're in this booth seat, and I was, busy in work and everything. Mm-hmm. She had like a little diner knife, like a butter knife, and she's sitting there like playing around. And usually that's fine. She just kind of taps it, and she can even use chopsticks, this little girl. So I'm not concerned about a butter knife with her until now. She squeezes like the knife and the fork together, and then somehow gets some, I don't know, momentum off of it and flicks it around and stabs me directly in the eyeball.
Yeah, I saw pictures. It was pretty horrendous.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't even, you'd think you could blink in time or something, nothing. So I stood up, thought I lost my eye immediately. That was the crying part for me, where I was like, oh my gosh, my eyeball's gone, and my toddler just stabbed my eye out.
The way you're explaining it, liquid's coming out of your eye, and you're like, oh my God, I lost my eye.
Yeah, literally, I'm looking for blood. I'm freaking out and not sure what to do, panic moment. And after I realized I still have an eyeball and I can still see, I had that dad moment where it's like, and you always talk about this, Tina, love and acceptance, right? Because, I mean, what do you...
And accountability.
And accountability.
How are you going to react in that moment right there?
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. Which is really hard when you get stabbed in the eyeball with a butter knife. So, she didn't even care, to tell you the truth, at first, because she's 3 and she doesn't know. I was waiting for her to be like, Daddy, are you okay? No. She just stood there with just kind of a little grin on her face, like, oops, I did it. And but eventually, when she saw the picture of my eye, I went to urgent care immediately. And the picture of I have a lacerated cornea. Mm-hmm. But it's fine. It'll heal. Some drops. I'll be good. And it's okay, baby. I know it was an accident. No big deal.
So no more
Daddy
playing
loves
with knives
you.
at the table.
If I see a butter knife within 3 feet of her, it's gone. It is not
thank
happening.
goodness she wasn't playing with your steak knife.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'd be blind.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
Well, Keelan, thanks for bringing that into studio. It's always nice for our listeners to hear a little bit personally what's going on behind the scenes in our life, and but to have a little balance for today's show, I'll talk about professional.
I like it.
And I'm going to talk about our industry. Sometimes we talk about things that have nothing to do with mortgage, some things about mortgage. And today it's not only about mortgage, but it's about our mortgage company, Gateway, which is awesome. So my question to you is, do your lender have these? If they don't, then pick up the phone, call the show, 1-855-400-1150, or go online at themoneyhour.com, because you got 2 of the best mortgage experts right here as your host and co-host of the Money Hour. So first, lost job protection for qualified borrowers. If you lose your job and you have to miss mortgage payments, what insurance protection do you have for that you actually don't have to pay for? I know that's pretty great, right? So it provides up to 6 months of maximum protection of $9,000 during a 2-year period. That's what it is. Again, it doesn't cost you anything. Now, the eligibility for it is you're either doing a 3% or 5% down payment, so maximum or up to a 95% loan to value. 97% loan to value. It's for primary residence only, single family home. Not really sure why it's not available for condo buyers, but it's not. It's single family. And at least one of the borrowers on the loan must not be self-employed. So it's really set up for employees that work for employers. So that's the first. Does your lender have access to that? Second is lock renegotiation. Will mortgage interest rates drop once you lock? Well, I don't know. We are now almost at the lowest historical rates ever. For another 0.25%, we'll hit all-time historical interest rates. So do you want to gamble with not locking in case the mortgage interest rates go up? Because since we're so low right now, are they going to continue to go down or are they going to go up? So a lock rate renegotiation just basically means that you can lock in your interest rate right now as soon as you have your offer accepted. And then you have a one-time free float down. So there's no cost to float down to the market interest rate. Now, the rate must have dropped 0.25% or more. So if the rate went down just 0.1%, you're not in a renegotiation situation. But if it drops 0.25% or more, you can. Now, when this is going to happen is that you're clear to close. So basically, that's after you have your final loan approval, appraisals back, everything's been signed off for the underwriter. So basically, right before you get the final stages, loan documents are going to be drawn. That's when Gateway is going to take a look at where the interest rate is at that time and see if you can benefit from renegotiation. Now, renegotiate is just what it's called. It's really not renegotiation because there's nothing you have to renegotiate. It just is a lock float down. And there's no cost to utilize it. So last for Money Chat, does your mortgage company have a lock and shop? So again, we are at historical low, almost at the lowest of the lowest historical low. And do you want to gamble in, again, the interest rates going up? So what you can do is you can lock in while you're shopping for your home. It's a really, really great program. And I shouldn't say program, it's in conjunction with loan programs with your VA, your conventional FHA loan. Once you lock, you have 30 days to find a property, but you get one extension, and the extension is for 30 days. So basically, you have 60 days to shop for your home. So you're not going to lock in on a lock and shop program if you're not out there shopping for a home. If you're just kind of waiting and deciding before you get out there, you're going to wait and take advantage of this. There's no cost to this either, but you can do it once. So you're not going to lock and shop and lock and shop. You're going to do one lock and shop because this does cost a lender money to do this. Now, once under contract, we're going to take a look at the current interest rate market or the current interest rate. And at that time, if the rates are lower, you're going to get a lower rate. Or if the rates are higher, you're going to get the rate that you locked on the lock and shop. Now that is going to take place as soon as you're under contract. So again, this is all taking place at a very strategic time. So it's one-timing that process. Now you then have 30 days to close on your loan. So if you don't find a property within the 60 days, that lock is going to expire. And then you're just going to lock on a normal program when you do find your home. So that is Money Chat. That is a shout out for the company that Keelan and I both represent.
Love
Gateway. Love it. And coming up next in the Money Hour, thinking about leaving your job, be careful what you leave behind. Tiffany Gough of Edward Jones, right here on 1150 AM KKNW after this short break.
Tired of calling a customer service number that has you explain your financial situation over and over just to get you to the right person? Tiffany Gough at Edward Jones will help you co-pilot your financial decisions and make it fun, too.
This is Tiffany Gough with Edward Jones. Please give me a call at 206-363-2518 for personalized service just for you. Let's do this.
You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome back to the Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW. This is the Saturday, August 10th show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
Local mortgage experts. It's a great day to talk about money, and that's what the show is all about. How to make money, save money, and build a better life for you and your family. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but you can call into the show to talk with our guest at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. In studio right now, we have Tiffany Gough of Edward Jones. Thinking about leaving your job? Be careful what you're leaving behind. Tiffany, always excited to have you in studio and to hear what topic you're going to bring to our listeners next.
Thank you. It's always fun. And I had to pick a really good one, I thought. I was like, yeah.
I'm so excited.
Me
And before
too.
we get started with our conversation with Tiffany, a little bit about her. Tiffany started her financial career in banking in 1990, and she's worked for several banks and other financial companies for almost 30 years. In 2014, she found her home, Edward Jones, at Edward Jones, and she loves it. She has been recognized by Seattle Magazine as a 5-star wealth manager in 2017, 2018, and, yes, of course, 2019. She also won the firm's Spirit of Partnership Award for the following years, 2016, 2017, and 2018. Over the years, she has helped many achieve things that they didn't think that they could. They were embarrassed about where they were currently, and she wants you to remember that this is not the finish line, and there is always room to grow. So beautiful, Tiffany, just like you are, and so just like your message is that you always share with our listeners.
Thank you so much.
Well, Tiffany, we know you're a rock star, but can you share with our
Rock star.
a rock star? Can you share?
Back at you.
Aw, love you. Can you share with our listeners a little bit about yourself? They don't know how much of a rock star you really are.
Well, thank you. So, the things about Seattle Magazine and the firm are huge rock star things. And a little bit about me personally, though, is I've grown up in Seattle most of my life and just love helping people as much as I possibly can. So, that's my rock star and local girl done good kind of a thing. So, and I live like 3 miles from where I grew up. So it's pretty neat.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Well, with every rock star and success, it always comes with a brand and a unique proposition, because no matter how good you are in your craft, you have to really also be good at creating a brand and what you represent, as well as a unique proposition or what you have to offer that's unique and special. So I'd love for you to share that with our listeners.
Thank you. So, Edward Jones has definite processes and brands, but for me, I've decided to create my own brand and on top of the Edward Jones process. And my brand is joy. I'm always going to do what's right for Jesus first, others second, and myself last. That keeps joy and integrity in my heart. And there's never a question of my integrity or why I'm doing something. So that means a lot to me. And I like to smile, and joy is a good word that makes you smile too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the other thing is, my name is Tiffany, of course. So much like some famous blue box stores, I treat my clients with a diamond process. That's a special thing that's only at my office. You will never find it any other Edward Jones. And the service that you get is amazing, and the process is really deep and passionate. So.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And, I always say in my coaching program, my One Time Your Business 8-week burn, a little shout out, onetimeyourbusiness.com. It's complimentary. Spend 8 weeks with me on a virtual live meeting. Anyways, I always talk about you have to have your unique proposition, and your unique proposition, you need to lead with yourself and your company second, because trust me, I work with Gateway Mortgage because it's the best mortgage company out there right now that can provide the highest level of service to my clients. But I lead with my unique proposition, and that's really what you want to do. And I'm excited that you've got such a very special, unique proposition, as well as a brand that follows that. So thank you, Tiffany.
Tiffany, can we talk about your clients? Who are your clients? Like, who do you enjoy working with? Do you have a niche, per se?
I kind of do have a niche. I guess in multiple ones, but I really love working with entrepreneurs because they are very goal-driven. They like the big picture. They have huge goals that they want to achieve, and they don't always know the best way to do it. I like to work with them because I'm a big outside-the-box thinker. If you tell me this is the only way you can do it, I will find another way, just because that's how I am. And so that fits really well with them, too. But I also speak left brain, too. So I joke that I'm a right brain and left brain speaker. So I've got my engineers, I've got my tech people, I've got my artist people, I've got my fashion designers. It's all over the place. So
yeah. So what else do you like about entrepreneurs?
I think it's just the passion that they have. There's just something that, maybe a lot of people in their life have told them they can't do it. And the nice part is, with me, I was told I couldn't do what I do either, being a woman in my field. And so I like to prove them wrong. And that's what I like about entrepreneurs, because for a lot of them, they were told they couldn't do what they were doing where they worked. So they left their job and started their own.
Yeah.
So your title, thinking about leaving a job, to change gears a little bit here. When you see your clients, how often do people typically change jobs?
Well, it's actually kind of funny. I did some research on this because, I was just seeing my own clients as how often they were switching their jobs. And on the average, people switch between 5 to 7 times in their career. But the really interesting part is 30% of the total workforce changes every 12 months.
Oh my gosh.
Every 12
That is
months.
crazy.
That is actually a statistic
Boy, that's really
that I
sad.
checked out, because I was like, it seemed like a lot of my clients were switching a lot too. But, when you realize 70% is more stable, but 30% is literally actively looking and switching every 12 months. It's crazy.
Well, maybe they just can't find their passions and they just keep
Yeah.
going
Well,
until they...
Yeah, obviously. or they're truly an entrepreneur at spirit, and they just can't work for somebody else because, I was a really hard worker, but it got to a point that, I needed to do it on my own, and I had that entrepreneurial spirit. So, that could be an issue, a whole nother conversation that we could have in the studio. So, Tiffany, let's talk about the common reason. What do you see that the common reason people leave their current employer and are not able to find that place that fits for them?
Well, what a lot of people find is they don't like being put in a box. And they don't really like that. And they don't like getting paid less than they think they should be paid. And so I've seen people literally jump from one job to another job for literally $2,000 a year. It's crazy.
Wow.
And, I think it's a matter of them finding, like you said, their passion or a workplace that works with them. And, especially a lot of women, that, are mothers and, wives, having their career as well as being the wife and the mouse, the woman of the house, trying to get everything done. A lot of companies are not very, complementary to that in that area. So I see a lot of women are doing that, and they're also having a shift because either they're taking care of their kids or they're aging parents. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that too.
Yeah, and I think, for a shout out for anybody that's in a job that they're not happy with now, because a lot of times it's like, well, geez, I could do this for myself. Just really look at the balance of it, because there is there's definitely a big risk of being an entrepreneur, and you have to know what you're heading towards, and you have to know how long it's going to take, and you have to have the guts to stick with it and not give up, and, just really balance out all of those options, make sure that you're making the right one at the right time.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So... obviously, every 12 months, people leave their jobs frequently. What do you see that people leave behind at their old job? I think I know where you're going with this one.
Sadly to say, a lot of people are so excited to get out of their old job that they just leave their old 401k there. They're just ready to leave. And a lot of people, especially if they've been asked to leave, man, that's the last thing I would leave there. That's just me. I mean, I'm like, you told me to leave, I'm taking that with me. But, a lot of people just don't think about that. And, that's maybe not the best decision for them.
So, Tiffany, what options do they have regarding their 401k or any other work retirement plan that they have?
So there's basically 4 options. You can cash it out. But if you do that, you can have taxes and penalties that do occur. So you want to make that decision first. Number 2 is you can leave it at your old job. However, when you're not at your old job, there are additional expenses that can happen because you're no longer an employee. And a lot of people don't realize that. And the other part of that is you're not able to rebalance and take care of it as much as you want to when you're no longer an employee. There are different restrictions. So a third option is you might be able to move it to your new 401k. A lot of jobs don't allow that, though. But the fourth and the most popular one is you can roll over to an IRA. There's no tax penalties or other penalties. Plus, you also have greater control. We get to look at your risk tolerance and adjust things as we need to do. So that's definitely the better option for most people.
It's so crazy to me that somebody leaves a job and leaves all their money there. They have no control over it. There's blackout dates, all this. They can do whatever they want. If you want to do things, you can't do anything. That's just like they have your money hostage. So by all means, roll that out. Get control of your money again. That's so crazy to me that people just kind of... I've talked to a ton of people that are just like, oh, I got 401k sprinkled all over earth. And I'm like, why? Because it's not even compounded and doing what it's going to do for you, right?
Yeah, and it's actually really crazy because over the last 10-year period, more than 25 million people left at least one 401k behind.
I believe it.
In 10 years, over 25 million.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
So when you're meeting with your clients, Tiffany, and they're talking about leaving a job, how are you preparing them when it comes to their 401k or company retirement plan?
Yeah, so we look at all the reasons and the situations. For some people, it is best to roll it over. Some people, it is to cash it out because they may have a situation where they're starting their own business and they need the capital. So we really look at everything to see what fits the best decision for them. No one option is right for every person. So that's how I look at it.
Tiffany, what do you see as like the biggest mistake with people? I know not rolling over 401ks. What other mistakes do you see with people leaving their jobs?
The other one is also missing out on the networking of the people that you know, because a lot of times you've worked with those people for so long, and especially if they're jumping ship for whatever reason or they've been asked to leave again, that they're not looking at those resources to connect and maybe find a better job or a better lifestyle for them.
Yeah. So Tiffany, as a wealth advisor, hopefully your clients are coming to you before they plan making any life changes, because that's what your wealth advisor is for. Is you're gonna chat with them before any life changes that you make. So if they're letting you know, hey, look, this is just definitely I'm going to be leaving my job, and what advice do you have for me? What are you telling them that they need to really have in reserves to be financially prepared to make that transition?
Well, I'd like them to have about 6 months in emergency cash. And please tell me your emergency cash is not just sitting at the bank, because it's not earning enough, first of all. So you should talk to me about that as well. So that's definitely one of those things. You need to have some money in the reserves. And we also need to make sure that you've got different types of money, like tax-free money, as well as your 401k. There's a lot of different options that you need to have different buckets to pull when you're starting a new job or starting a business.
Yeah, diversification is key.
So since we're wrapping up here, Tiffany, what is the last piece of advice that you'd like to leave with all of our listeners? What would you say to them as something that could resonate from our conversation here?
So one of the things I would say is there's the time value of money, but there's also the money value of time. So make sure you use it wisely.
Oh, well said.
Yeah.
Boom.
So
Boom.
well
Drop the
said.
mic, right?
Love it.
Tiffany, thank you so much again for coming into studio.
Thank you, too.
And if you have any questions for Tiffany, please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150, or online at themoneyhour.com. Coming up next to the Money Hour, navigating through this thing called life, women inspired. Karen Ray of Fave Lifestyles, right here on 1150 AM, KKNW, after this short break.
Tired of calling a customer service number that has you explain your financial situation over and over just to get you to the right person? Tiffany Gough at Edward Jones will help you co-pilot your financial decisions and make it fun, too.
This is Tiffany Gough with Edward Jones. Please give me a call at 206-363-2518 for personalized service just for you. Let's do this.
Have you recently purchased a home and are wondering how you can make it your home with a fresh new design on a budget? If so, we have the answer. Go visit the Design Center at Staging and Design Network. You'll have access to award-winning design services, new and used furnishings at up to 50% off retail, and membership is only $60 a year. They work with thousands of interior designers and professional home stagers. They also create model homes for high-end builders. Go online to staginganddesignetwork.com, all spelled out, and become a wholesale member, or visit their showroom in Kirkland. The address and directions are listed on their website. It's located in an industrial park where you would never expect. You'll consider Staging and Design Network a hidden treasure after your first visit.
This is Trisha Tomlinson with Staging and Design Network. Our phone number is 425-272-4430. That's 425-272-4430. And you can find us online at www.staginganddesignetwork.com, all spelled out.
You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Welcome back to the Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, August 10th show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
We are your local mortgage experts. We are here to help you build a strong financial blueprint 1 week and one show at a time. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but we're here to connect you with the guests that we have on the show. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. In studio right now, we have Karen Ray of Fave Lifestyles. Navigating this thing called life. A little bit of a women inspiration, right, Karen?
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. So excited to have you, and I wish the audience could actually see that big, beautiful smile that you have on your face right now. Thank you, Karen.
It is so fun to be here in a radio station, and I was saying that it's different for me because I film web TV shows, and so I'm usually the person asking the questions.
Well, I'm so glad we get to let you just kind of relax and make it all about you right now.
Absolutely.
And a little bit about Karen. Karen started Fave while she herself was facing a number of life transitions. Faced with these challenges, she realized that there was a need for resources for women to help them thrive and create a life that they love. Fave creates quality content and community via web shows, events, and resources. They are a community of women of strength, making an impact in their world through their passions, families, faith, and businesses. Faith is the go-to resource for readers around the world, providing support and community of like-minded women who are doing life together. Keelan, you get to talk today, even though this is about women.
Yay.
And we love the men that love us too.
Yes. It's all a happy family, right?
Absolutely.
What are some of the ways, Karen, that you help women navigate kind of the life's ups and downs that we all face?
Yeah, life is messy.
It can be, yeah.
And Fave, we are really geared towards women 45 and older. There are so many unique transitions for women at that age. And where's the information? I started out, and it started as a passion project. My son said, I was looking for the information, and I was going to YouTube and all these different places. I couldn't find anything that was for women. So I said, well, let's put something together. Let's have a safe place, reliable resources, advice, a place where we can walk together.
Yeah, and I love that. I love when you're really passionate about something and then you put something together. That's something that you put together, and what we're talking about here with you, Karen, you can tell it's a passion project, and passion projects win. So I just do a shout out because Keelan's not only a woman, so he's not perfect for this platform, but also you're too dang young because you're not 45 years old.
Not yet. Got a little bit to go.
I fit both of it. I'm old enough and woman enough. So anyway, so Karen, men typically have a difficult time reaching out and asking for help. What have you seen with women? Do they have challenges in that area as well?
I really think they do. I think we finally reach out sometimes when we're in that panic mode or we're overwhelmed. But women, we've been the moms.
Yeah.
We're the ones who have all the answers. And people come to us, hey, mom, this, that, and the other thing. We seem to, the women have the answers. So I find that a lot of women are hesitant to reach out. So that's why we want to be the place where they can come. And whether, they don't have to ask somebody, they can just go and find the information.
Yeah, nice.
That's so cool how things like that are born out of a need, something that you just ran into personally and found that there's something there that desperately needs some help. So good on you for going out there and helping these women. With that being said, what are you seeing as far as specific issues or things that women are needing advice on? What's current right now that you're seeing a lot of?
Well, I talk to a lot of women, and my story is I went through about 5 major life changes in the last 2 years. Downsizing, empty nester, divorce. My whole life is absolutely different than it was 2 years ago. And the things that come up, even just like selling a house, how to do the fixes. How do you Google that, or how do you find that information when you're sitting there trying to do all this by yourself? All those how-tos of a car, or and it's all the emotional stuff that goes around with that too, because women have an emotion attached to just about every decision.
Yeah. And I would imagine too, the benefit of actually being involved in a community of resources, because you're connecting in that community, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
We host events, and we have information through our web shows. We have articles and authors. We're really connecting women in all areas and trying to help them to find the right questions to ask too.
Yeah. So let's talk about how do women know what they should even be looking for when seeking for information on the life events that you've kind of mentioned.
This is actually what I asked myself. I did not grow up knowing what questions to ask.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of taboo. It's like we were already supposed to know everything.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn what questions to ask. So even as starting a business, we launched our website in January. It's absolutely beautiful. It's my happy place. You have to go check it out. And what to ask? Like I needed a graphic artist. Well, usually that expert will come and tell you what they know and what they think you should know. But you need to know the questions. You need to know. But if you've never been in that space, how do you know?
Yeah.
So let's have experts come on our site, and different ones because they have different perspectives, and tell us what are some things you should be considering? What are the things you should be thinking about when you're going to go out and maybe buy a car or a house, or what should you know for a mortgage? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, and Keelan, that's why we have this show, because this show is about having the best of the best so that they are connecting with those experts that they need. And so you're kind of an extension to the platform that we bring in studio, but you have all of the resources and the content and, all of the community. So yes, it's beautiful.
Yes, I mean, it really is very similar, but we are just really geared towards women and women going through these different transitions that are really tough. To deal with your parents. How do you even talk to them when they need to be in a different space or downsizing and all these things that are really heartfelt?
And the truth is, experts put in a lot of time and resources and effort that you've already put in and done a lot of the work. So what a great place for somebody to go and talk to an expert that's done the work already. I mean, in my generation, we tend to just go online and Google things. What would you say to somebody that wants to just go online and try to Google some questions and figure this thing out on their own?
Well, it's really hard, and especially I think for women my age, women of a more interesting age. Mm-hmm. We didn't grow up like you did. We did not grow up.
That's the reason why you're targeting a 45 plus, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Those are your perfect clients.
Yeah.
Because we need to be taught differently.
Yes.
We need to be talked to differently.
Yeah.
And that's why we are trying to create conversations around this. Mm-hmm. Let's ask those tough questions. We have these web shows. We have a show on nutrition. We have a show with a doctor, and you can ask these different things, and it's age appropriate because you go on the internet, you Google, you go onto YouTube, and it's all young people. So that's why I asked my son, I said, well, where's all the shows for people my age?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, Mom, people your age don't do that. And I said, oh, wait a second. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. And I'm going to find the experts and I'm going to build a platform to showcase them.
Absolutely. I didn't know how to interview or to film or any of these things or build a website. But you know what? I knew some people who knew how.
Yeah.
And so I brought them all together.
Yeah, I love it. So what is the answer to finding the experts that you need for anything that you need help for right now?
Finding the experts, that's a really tough thing. I think women, when they're hesitant to ask questions, it's tough. Where do you go? Where's that one space that's comfortable, that feels safe? Mm-hmm. And that's why at FAVE, we want women to come and have the conversation, have the information, but we also want it to be a safe space for them.
Yeah.
What are women over 45 asking about navigating life's journeys at this point? What are you seeing? I know we talked a little bit about the younger generations trying to figure it out and Google it, but you came from a different place. So yeah, what are they looking for?
They're looking for not just the topics, but how to get through the mindset and the emotion.
I see.
Yeah, and so even I have met probably 4 women in the last 2 weeks talking about aging parents. Mm-hmm. They're physically, emotionally, and mentally exhausted. Mm-hmm. So how do you approach those parents? How do you deal with the health care? How do you do all these different things? Or, there's just so many different topics. Big one, menopause. There's all these platforms out there, and they talk about the issue, but they don't tell you how to thrive through it. They don't really give you the answers. And those are the things. Women in divorce, there's another big one.
Yeah.
Do women know how their state values them at? Maybe it was a surprise. Maybe they're walking through something, and they don't know what their value is. And that's one thing, whether you're a CEO, entrepreneur or stay-at-home mom, whatever your role, women want to know what their their questions are about value.
Yeah.
Am I enough?
Yeah.
I had two women who were very, who I would think are accomplished, and they both said, I don't think I'm enough.
Yeah.
And so those are the type of questions, those are the types of things that we need our experts to talk about.
Well, and it's funny that you say that because I was just, thinking of sharing, because all of my transformation happened in my few couple years after that, in my 45, 46, 7 age. And that's when I've had my success. I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. Now what am I supposed to do? I mean, I'm still going to be successful. I'm still going to work hard. I'm still going to build, but I need something different. And that's when I started all my personal growth. That's when I started working in my community. That's when I wrote my book and my song, and I started my coaching. All of the amazing things that have not happened for me, but have happened to me because it allows me to be able to give back to my community. So do you have those platforms within your organization as well?
We do. I see so many women 45 and older, they're asking themselves, what is my purpose?
Yeah.
And just like that, they are reinventing themselves.
Yeah.
But how do you do that?
Yes.
What are all the things? Like myself, I was a stay-at-home mom for 27 years.
Yeah.
I had to re-enter the workforce and walk through these different transitions. But how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you do it with and thrive?
It would have been easier to do it in a community than to have to do it on my own.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because you can have those girlfriends to support
Exactly.
you. And that's what I did. I brought all these women together just to help support me walk through these transitions
Yes.
and to thrive and to find that joy.
Yes, yeah.
That's so sad to hear I'm not enough, because shout out to my mom. I learned my work ethic from my mom. That generation, they're fighters. I mean, they'll go out there and do it and whatever's there and my mom always seemed like she put the world on her back, you know, as the strong woman, a house full of boys, So I have nothing but respect for that. And it's shocking to me that women, I mean, everybody thinks less than themselves to a degree, but especially like a strong woman who's accomplished out there.
Yeah. These are very common questions. I talk to a lot of women, but we talk about fave women are women of strength. They're doing all these different things, but they don't need the applause for it. They're doing the right thing. There's one of our shows, Fireside. We talk about a woman who lost her daughter, and within, I think it was 2 years, she went out and changed a law.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They are incredible stories. We're tapping into women's experiences, their gifts, their strengths, and bringing in their expertise to help the other women walk along in life.
Yeah.
So cool.
So what about coming up with those right questions and answers?
Yeah, that's what I want to help women, and I think with our experts, help them find those right questions, help them think, really educate. If we educate ourselves, that is power, and we're walking in our confidence, and that's what we're doing at FAVE.
Yeah.
So, Karen, where can women find this collaboration of resources that are really relevant
Because
to
any
this?
woman that's listening is like, oh my gosh, how do I get fave?
Yeah, how do I hook up
How
with
do I
this?
hook
like
up?
this. Yeah. Where can they find these resources to their life journey?
Yes, we have. You can come visit us at www.favelifestyles.com. We have a brand new, beautiful site. We have community events. We have articles, our web shows. We're always adding new things. We have over 30 contributors right now on FAVE. We have community events. You can check out our events on our community calendar. And just come visit us.
So cool.
Wonderful. Karen, thank you so much for joining us in studio for the first time. Look forward to having you back.
Thank you. It was a joy.
And if you want more information on Karen, you can call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150, or online at themoneyhour.com. Coming up next on The Money Hour, first ever shared rental pool for home furnishings. John Bedford of Staging and Design Network, right here on 1150 AM KKNW after this short break.
Tired of calling a customer service number that has you explain your financial situation over and over just to get you to the right person? Tiffany Gough at Edward Jones will help you co-pilot your financial decisions and make it fun, too.
This is Tiffany Gough with Edward Jones. Please give me a call at 206-363-2518 for personalized service just for you. Let's do this.
With over 30 years of real estate success in 3 major markets, the Thiel team knows what it takes to help their buyers, sellers, and developer clients achieve their real estate goals. Use an expert. Contact the Thiel team today for a free consultation. The combined skills, experience, and tools of the #1 office in the state, the Thiel team at Windermere Yarrow Bay will get you across the finish line. Call today at 425-941-8457 or email troythiel@windermere.com to connect.
Hi, I'm Troy Thiel, and my wife Karen and I are the Thiel team with the Windermere Yarrow Bay office in Kirkland. We work throughout the Seattle market, and we love helping people achieve their real estate goals. If you'd like to talk to us about what your goals are and how we can help you, give us a call at 425-941-8457.
You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
Well, welcome back to the Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, August 10th show. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
We are local mortgage experts. We bring in studio each week the best of the best experts in the local market on everything regarding money. We're here to help you in today's economy. If you're hearing our show at a different time of day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but we're here to connect you with the guests that we have in the show today. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. In studio right now, very excited to have a conversation with John Bedford of Staging and Design Network, first ever shared rental pool for home furnishings. John, welcome into studio.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And a little bit about John. John is the Director of Business Development of Staging and Design Network and has been with the company for just over 3 years. He is brought on to help SDN enter the real estate community in the Puget Sound area. He loves working with realtors and helping them save time and money staging their listings.
So, John, let's talk a little bit about how this whole Staging and Design Network came about.
Sure. So the company was started by Tricia Tomlinson, and so she was a broker for many years, and it's your standard story of staging where they say if you stage a home, sells typically for faster and for more than the asking price. And so her neighbor had her house on the market, had been almost a year and just hadn't sold. And so she asked Tricia to get involved, and so Tricia went in there, staged the home, and listed it for the same price, and it sold in less than 2 weeks for more than the asking price with multiple offers. And so as she saw success with that, she started staging all of her listings. And basically, when you start building up inventory and trying to manage it, it is a logistical nightmare. And so movers, trucks, the costs associated with it, storage expenses, and you're always trying to stay up to trends. So you have to constantly buy new inventory all the time. And so the last straw for her came when her husband came home one day and walked into the living room and asked, "Where is our sofa? Where is our art? Why is it off the wall?" And she said, "I had to use it for one of my listings." And he said, "Well, why are you using the sofa we live with as opposed to one of the 12 sofas in the garage that you have now taken over? And I don't even get to use my own garage anymore." And she said, "You don't understand, it has to be that specific style of sofa for that specific style of home I was listing." So he said, "This is not working out, and so why don't you go get a storage unit and actually run this as a business?" And so she tried that, and it was just, again, it's really challenging trying to manage that inventory. And she realized if I'm going through the challenges and headaches of doing this, there has to be other people. And so that's where she got the idea for the first shared rental pool, where basically a bunch of new construction builders, real estate brokers, professional stagers can actually pull in their inventory and we manage it, and they share and rent from each other.
Yeah, I love it. And if you've been listening to the entire show, I mean, we're really talking about turning your need and your passion into a product or service that everybody needs, from our financial planner and really strong women, and making it when people say that they can't and you need your finances for that. And Karen talked about the need for services and where you're going to get the information that you need for that. And, in Staging and Design Network, same thing. So I love that. And I know Tricia personally and have met her, and she's been in studio and shared quite a few times. And it's really amazing. It almost always brings me to tears when I hear her story, because every person can do this when they know that there's a need out there. go and provide that need. And the fact that nobody else had figured this out is just unbelievable. So a little shout out there for her and for Staging and Design Network. So let's talk about who Staging and Design Network works with.
Sure. So in the very beginning, it was pretty much all professional stagers as they pulled in their inventory. And so then 3 years ago, we entered into the real estate market. And so currently we work with a bunch of realtors, agents, professional stagers, and new construction builders.
Yeah.
So you work with a bunch of agents. I heard a statistic, something like homes sell 80% faster that are staged. And I don't know if you ever been on Zillow and looked around at some of these homes that are absolutely like shocking that it's even hit the market. There's nothing in it. It's all blah. So you guys are doing I commend you, amazing service. What is there a specific type of agent you guys like working with, or?
I mean, we'll work with pretty much any type, but I would say the certain types that find the most value working with us are the agents that enjoy staging their listings, their own listings, and so they have the eye for design, and they just really enjoy that aspect of the staging their listings. And then we also work with a lot of agents and brokers where not every listing requires a full stage. And a lot of times they get stuck because they just need a few key pieces. And so they might just need a sofa, just a table, just some pieces of art, just add some color. And professional stagers don't do that. I mean, they do a full stage. And so they have minimums, they have tight deadlines and whatnot. So we really cater to the brokers that kind of get stuck where they can't utilize their professional stager every single time, and they could just rent a few items since we're just a la carte.
Yeah. So obviously what makes you unique is, again, you're the first ever shared rental pool for home furnishing. That's unique. What else makes the company unique?
Yeah. So and what's crazy is that we can say we're the first, and we're still able to say only in the U.S.
That's crazy.
And I'll kind of explain why that is in a little bit here. But I would say there's two unique aspects of the business. And so first, with the shared rental pool, it's pretty insane where there's literally nowhere in the U.S. that you can own furniture, put it into a warehouse, literally do nothing, and just get paid. So we actually pay whoever owns the furniture 30% of the rental income we collect.
Yeah.
And so the return on investment, it's pretty insane. We have some of our professional stagers, this is their second source of income, where they're getting comma checks on a monthly basis by not doing anything. It's kind of mind-blowing. And so the second unique aspect of the business is that everything's done online. And so in today's day and age, with Amazon and whatnot, everything, again, is just done online. Before a lot of my brokers knew about what we do in the Seattle market, a lot of them had to, during business hours, get in the car, drive to a warehouse, and try to scour through, pick out what they need for the bigger pieces of furniture. Then they have to get back in the car and then go somewhere else to source the small stuff, because furniture rental companies don't rent the artwork, the small accessories, and tchotchkes, and so they're sourcing multiple places. And so with us, instead of doing their shopping during the day when they really want to focus on selling homes and really their job of getting more clients, at the end of the day, they could come home, hop online, log into their account, browse their inventory in real life time, fill up the shopping cart, and just check out and either do a will call pickup just for the couple items or have us do the delivery and install for the bigger orders.
Yeah, and it was really exciting when that software piece came in. That was a huge thing that, initially it didn't have, and a second piece that came in to really pull that all together. So, yeah.
That's so cool, John. Who can put furniture into the shared pool? Is there any limitations or guidelines of that?
As of right now, there isn't. And so we have professional stagers that put in their inventory. We have realtors and the brokers and agents. And then we even have furniture manufacturers that are getting into the game.
Wow.
And it's pretty insane because the return on investment for them, it's incredible. Furniture manufacturer can manufacture $100,000 worth of furniture, and they can sell it. It's just a one-time sale, one-time profit, and maybe they'll make $40,000 or $50,000 on the $100,000 worth of furniture. We ran the data for the last few years, and that furniture manufacturer, and because their cost is so low, so I want to be very clear that the $100,000 is their cost. But basically, within 5 years, that $100,000 worth of furniture, it can actually be over $700,000.
Wow!
And so now we have the furniture manufacturers trying to get into the game. So
that is crazy. So Staging and Design Network considers itself a technology company first and not just a regular furniture rental company. So explain that.
Yeah. So, and this was kind of like a weird thing for me to understand when I first started with the company. because they said we are a technology company. And so when I first started, I was like, I see a bunch of furniture, and so I don't understand the technology. I don't understand. Explain more.
Yeah.
And so the reason being is because there's never been software to support a business model like this in existence ever. And the reason being is we manage our inventory with our barcoding scanning system. That's common. But what's not common is the commission accounting aspect of running the business. So for example, one of our trucks this morning could have left one of the bay doors with over 100 pieces of furniture. Our system not only has to track where all that furniture is going, it also has to track and potentially pay up to 100 different people the 30% commission. So the accounting aspect of it has never existed. So we've actually built the software from scratch in-house from day one.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're actually considered a technology company first. So.
That is so cool. That's a lot of details that only a computer could keep track of. That is so neat. So let's talk about this REACH program that Staging and Design Network is involved in this year.
Yes, super excited. So the National Association of Realtors, they own a group called Second Century Ventures, and it's a venture capitalist group that will invest in startup companies in the real estate community. And 7 years ago, they started a program called the REACH program. And basically with the REACH program, they sponsor 8 startup tech companies that they feel will make a disruption in the industry. And so last year they had over 1,100 applications, and we were chosen as one of the 8 startup tech companies. Wow. The funny thing is we did not even apply. They actually found out about what Trisha was doing, so they reached out to her and basically begged her to participate in this program. And it's been a game changer for us. I mean, you can imagine the networking opportunities that we've had with the NAR. I mean, it's incredible, the contacts we've made with that community. So
yeah, so exciting to see from this where it started and where it's going. So where are you currently located, John?
So currently in the Seattle market, we have a warehouse in Everett, and we have one in Kirkland. And then I'm actually flying down next week to Phoenix to interview some sales reps down there. So we'll be opening up Phoenix. We get the keys in September, opening up in October 1st. And then next year, we want to enter into 3 more markets, most likely in the West Coast, California. And then the year after that, 12 new locations per year. And we're just going to see how big this thing can go.
Wow.
Wow. So you guys have already, I mean, from start to where you're at now, incredible growth. What's the future for Staging and Design Network?
Yeah, I think at this point it's really to hopefully maintain the word only shared rental pool in the U.S. And just try to scale as fast as possible. And it's fun chaos right now in terms of just moving as fast as we can go. And we're growing just revenue-wise, employee-wise. And so I think it's really exciting. And especially with the new REACH program and that opportunity, it's incredible. Every new market we're going to go into, we're going to get tapped into that market just a lot better and more efficient with the REACH program and NAL.
So Trish Husbands has to be pretty darn proud of her, isn't he?
Yeah, no, absolutely, for sure.
And she has to be pretty glad that he was yelling about the fact that furniture was disappearing in the house.
100%. For sure.
So, John, as we're wrapping up our time here with you today, you've talked a little bit about the future of Staging and Design Networks with new locations coming in, and ideally in the future having 12 every single year. That is every month opening a new location. And from what I've seen and how fast the growth has been, I'm sure that you guys are going to reach that goal. What other things are on the horizon?
I think what's awesome is we're also able to innovate cool new programs. And so besides the shared rental pool, we're also trying to come up with another aspect of just having a situation where people could put in their inventory into the shared rental pool, but not have it shared. And so, for example, like somebody could be paying $1,000 for public storage right now, but what that public storage facility cannot provide them is an online platform to actually view the inventory. So a lot of times they have public storage and they have to tell the movers and give them a list of like, hey, try to grab these nightstands. They're kind of green, and then grab this, and then they source somewhere else. So now we can have them hopefully pay less than their monthly storage expense, put their stuff into our warehouse, and then we have everything visible online. So now they can just click buttons on exactly what they need. One of the challenges sometimes is they'll go to storage unit. What they want is in the far back. They have to literally empty out everything first, grab it. So we're dancing around that. And then also in-home product sales is a huge opportunity because we have a lot of time potential buyers and the actual buyer they see the furniture in their home and they're like, I want to buy this stuff. This stuff's already here. And so we're coming up with a program where we actually, the listing agent, we give them a little incentive of a couple, like 2.5%, just for having the stuff available for sale. And then we take care of them, and then the buyers are able to buy their stuff at great wholesale pricing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
cool.
It's so funny when you say that. Everything is a personal connection. My stepdaughter moved from Colorado. She lived with us while she was deciding where she was going to live, and she had her stuff in storage. And then she pulled a little bit out for her apartment. Then she decided to come home to save money for her new house. And so it's all of that. Her dad is back and forth to that dang storage and trying to figure out exactly what his daughter wants. So that's hilarious. John, thank you so much for coming in. I'm excited to have you come back, and really excited as we move in the future to see all of these things come together for the company.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to know more information, please call the show at 1-855-400-1150 or go online to themoneyhour.com, and we'll get you hooked up with Staging and Design Network. This is your host, Tina Mitchell.
And your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
Your local mortgage expert, signing off for the day. Thanks for being here. We'll be here same time, same place next weekend. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420, and Keelan Harvey, MLO 1330075, are licensed loan originators with Gateway Mortgage Group, LLC, and MLS 7233. The views expressed by the speakers on the preceding program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of Gateway Mortgage Group, LLC, nor are they necessarily endorsed by Gateway Mortgage Group, LLC.